Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Bowman Cup and our Game 3 tonight here, the Rick Mark Memorial Cup Showcase. Team Hasek taking on Team Perot. Mark Johnson here, along back with Timmy Rozak. And Timmy, we've seen two great games here tonight. Why not make it a third with some great players coming up here and some classic talent coming our way here shortly?
Absolutely, Mark. And these are the kids to watch because a lot of these guys have already committed to major colleges. We've had a series of players in this event go on to big-time hockey. You got Austin Osmansky with the Peterborough Petes currently at the OHL. Got Dennis Gilbert, who's played at Notre Dame, currently plays for the Rockford Ice Hogs of the AHL. And Ciccone, he played for the University of Michigan and also now plays for the Texas Stars of the AHL. In addition, we mentioned earlier about Dugan with the Providence Friars, and also probably the most notable name was Phil Lane, who's now making money in Norway in the professional ranks.
And we're underway here in a first of two halves, two 22-minute halves. And the puck placed right out of play right off the bat here. But for our goaltenders for Team Perot, number 30, Nick Haas, is in net. And for Team Hasek, it's Grant Riley, number 1, gets the start as well. So we're going to redo it all over again from center ice. And we're back underway here. Game 3 here tonight of some sensational hockey, including a nice 6-5 win from the Team Buffalo squad that just pulled off a nice victory over Rochester. And now the junior players here, so got to watch this warm up with some great shooting, fast, quick skating.
You could see this is some real high-level talent here, Mark, and it's a great way to end a tremendous night of hockey. This nightcap should be a tremendously entertaining game, and look for some spectacular plays like we witnessed in the last game.
Team Perot in the gold jerseys, Team Hasek in the blue, and puck comes out right out to the side of the net as Team Perot tries to keep the pressure on. Blake Humphrey in the corner with it, digs it out. He's got Zach Kroll over there. And Team Hasek breaks it back out over center ice. Offside there, looked like on our angle, but Team Hasek might have just got away with one. Humphreys was stripped down, but back. Gomez was after him. In the corner, goes back behind the net. And the Team Hasek trying to moves it out as Visconti with it, and he throws it up over the left side boards. Pumping it back in along the right side. And Team Perot almost threw it away in front of their own net. Got away with it there. Josh Elbert back behind the net, spinning away for Team Perot. They play it up off the left wing boards. That's Blake Humphrey with it. There's a shot, quick shot, and a save by Riley.
And Riley not given much room to work with for Humphrey. Nice positioning for him. And, it would be interesting to see if they can match the goal production in the last game. Quite a bit of goals, 11 goals.
My mistake on that one was Paul Cartone with that shot. So a nice save there from Riley. And back comes Team Hasek, but they're stopped at the line. Albert feeds it up. A nice play here. Number 19 is cutting in. There's a shot. And no penalty there. It looked like he might have hooked him a little bit. Austin Robinson had the opportunity for Team Perot. Team Hasek comes back out of their own end. Number 16 coming with it. That's Lugris. Throws it back behind the net. Lost it. Mann with it now. Nate Mann just going to flip it up off the glass and gets it out of his own end. Now, exchange passes here at center ice. And Lugris just tipped it back in to the Team Perot end. Oh, there's a steal in front. Number 4 stole it. That was Cicero. Nice play there. They couldn't find the handle on it. They push it out over the line. From inside the 19-minute mark here of this first half. Bounce along the boards on the far side. Man with it. Looks to steer it out and gets it out. Now Martin breaking in. Martin cutting in. Oh, and a nice save there. Another great save by Ridley.
Oh, it would have been fitting for Kevin Martin to score in the Rick Martin Memorial Cup to open things up. That would have been a really cool opportunity there. And one of the things about this game that's a little unique to the other two games we watched is that these squads are both from Western New York and Rochester. However, they're intermingled teams, which is why we have Team Hasek and Team Perot versus Rochester and Buffalo.
Off the draw, Team Perot had to come back out of their own end, so we'll have to get reorganized here. Puck chip back out and back into the Team Hasek end. Going back there and losing an edge. Number 22. Puck goes back to the point. McCarthy, and he had his pass taken away, and a nice play there. Give and go time for Team Hasek. Here's a chance. Shot, save, rebound, it's loose. Puck right in front. Oh, what a great opportunity for number 9 there, Casey Severo.
Team Hasek set up a really nice play there and a great save there by number 30, Nick Haas for Salisbury.
I think it's lost it, and they bring it back out over to center ice. Team Hasek on the move now, outnumbered here. Took a shot and a nice save there. Haas made a save. Move it back out the other way. Number 16 on the go for it. That's Lugris. And the puck go off his skate back behind the net the other way. He's heading in the corner. And Team Perot trying to keep that puck in down low as they battle away for it in the boards. 4 of them go at it now, and they finally spin it off the wall, but back out to the point. Albert sent it back around back behind the net. Bax was there and lost it. And Team Hasek tries to break back out. They're way offside here. And they're going to call them offside at the Team Perot line.
Well, you could really see there's a tremendous skill level at this group right here with the juniors. And it's no surprise that you have a lot of kids in this game that are going to big-time schools. For Team Hasek, Casey Severo going to Merrimack. And for Team Perot, you got Dalton Wright going to Union, Blake Humphrey to RIT, and Ben Ritter at Dartmouth. So those are some big-time colleges these kids will be playing at.
Some quality talent on the ice, that's for sure, and on the benches. So should be a nice matchup here. Team Hasek next, trying to make a nice move coming back on the other way. Savino with it now. He flipped it over on the far side. A long wrist shot and right on. A nice save there. Nate Mann let it go. He's a 16 and under junior Sabre player. And Riley comes up with another nice save.
Well, and it's nice to see that these cups are named after some real important players in Sabres history. Rick Martin, obviously a member of the French Connection. And as you walk into this building, this arena, you have a nice tribute, nice statue of the French Connections. Really cool touch that the Pagulas put on when they took this team over. And I remember I was at that game, the first game they took over the team, and just that atmosphere in the foyer and that patio area, just really a cool area. And you'd like to see that thing buzzing when the team can hopefully get to the playoffs eventually. That's going to be a nice little party area for fans to congregate before and after the games.
On the draw, Team Perot wins it, and they move it out. Cutting in is 13, Dalton Wright. Also a member of the Junior Sabres. Lost the puck on the far side. Coming back out at number 89. On the move, Josh Phillips. He's another Junior Sabre. Puck behind the net. Savino with it. And the puck came right out in front. It was a good chance there, but he couldn't connect. Team Perot tries to move them out of their own end, and they do. There's a shot that was deflected up and out of play. Here with 15-12 left, no score. We got two interesting games tonight. One, the juniors and the seniors, and some nice action up and down the line.
Well, and you know, junior hockey is such a major part of the entire hockey landscape. And Scotty Bowman played junior hockey. Rick Martin was one of the major goal scorers in junior hockey right before he got drafted by the Sabres. He had 71 goals the final year of his junior hockey career. So, you know, you see some tremendous athleticism at this level, and oftentimes these guys advance to the major stage.
Puck shot in back behind the net. Now kick to the corner. Back there with it. Team Perot tries to do something with it. And puck comes out free. And nice sidestep move there. There's a long shot from the point. McCarthy missed it. Puck just went back over the top of the net. Puck goes back into the corner. Robinson's there for Team Perot. There's a long shot. Oh, that just went over the top of the crossbar. Didn't miss by much.
Well, with 14 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this first half, both teams are hard-pressed to find quality opportunities for shots on net. Right now we've got Team Perot with 3 shots on net and Team Hasek with 2.
Puck is bounced up around the center ice line, and Team Hasek tries to make a move. Cutting in, looks a chance for number 21 there. And it just missed on the give and go. There's a shot on another nice save by Haas. Puck behind the net now. Number 21 picks it up, and I do not have him on my roster. Unless it's Yeager. Excuse me, it is Matthew Yeager behind the net. They swipe at it. Puck is still loose. Loomis has it. Lost it. Didn't know where it was. Now there's a hook around the neck, but the referees let that go. Chance in front. Swept to the side. Some more good defense from Team Perot. They just tried to clear out. 34. Brings it. That's Humphrey. Gets it out over down the right wing. Dalton Wright couldn't do anything with it. Some good defense there from Team Hasek. They move it back out to center ice. Team Hasek lets a long shot go. Big rebound there. It came out. Haas lost control of the rebound, but they swept it out of the zone harmlessly anyway. There's a chance now. Number 12, they bang play. Look there and just missed on the opportunity.
That puck was right in the wheelhouse for Team Perot, or I'm sorry, Team Hasek. Number 16, Dylan Lugris, had a nice opportunity, but couldn't quite find the puck.
Play moving a little slowly here. But here comes Team Hasek trying to make a move back. They can't go anywhere. Good defense at the line. They try to open it up a little bit here with number 11.
It sure is a real defensive stalemate at this point, and I don't notice as much checking as there was in the previous game, and perhaps you'll see the teams open up a little more on that end and perhaps create more offensive opportunities as a result of the forechecking.
Long wrist shot was deflected, didn't miss the net by much. There's a chance now for Team Hasek, or excuse me, Team Perot, and taken away. A nice play there by the defenseman. Phillips moved it out over to Tubris, and he lost it. Now 14 coming back. That's Mann. Mann cutting in. Mann backhands. Oh, nice save there. Got the glove up and made the stop with Riley. Back the other way. Man, there's a give and go on a backhand play. Nice play there and a great save. Tobias had a chance. Team Hasek. Back they come the other way, and they're starting to open it up now. There's a long shot that's going to be rifled to the corner. Missed that target, missed everything there. Coming back. That's Austin Robinson, number 19. Should be easy to remember his number. There's a chance. Oh, a deflection from Robinson was right in. Camped in front of the net. That almost went in. Probably the best chance for Team Perot. That. Here's another opportunity. 26 was stopped. That's Leo Bax. But Team Perot starting to put some pressure on now. As Bax has got it behind the net. Goes back trying to pinch in on the far side. Number 51, Jake Gerger. Puck goes to the other side. And here's a chance now coming the other way. Streaking down the right wing. Cutting in. And a shot there, somehow he got it off. And that was Neudorf. Just missed it. There's a check from behind and coming back for Team Perot's Cartone. Oh, he tried to get it over to his line mate, number 34. Humphrey just missed it. They'll go to the corner. There's a shot and a save. Puck is down along the right side boards. We'll just try to take it out. Team Hassocks can stop right at the line. They can't even get out of their own end, Tim.
Well, it's really been a slow progressing opportunities for Team Hassock to get shots on net. Right now, we do stand, though, at five shots apiece on net. And as I'm watching this game, thinking as what a great goalie Hassock was, if you're a goaltender for Team Hassock, Grant Riley, he's got big shoes to fill.
Sure does. Inside 10 minutes now in this half, no score.
Really cool jerseys for both these teams. Each team has a number of Hassock. For Team Hassock, they have a number 39 in their jerseys, and Team Perot, number 11, which are really cool jerseys, and I'm sure they're going to have a nice keepsake to remember forever after they hang them up after this game.
Well, Phillips with it now for Team Hassock. He's just going to throw it in the Team Perot end, and they're going to make changes. And misplaying it a little bit there was Nick Haas. Puck comes back out the center ice.
We got 9 minutes left in the first half of the game. First half of the first half.
We haven't had too many whistles either. Here's a chance now. 88 has a chance. Shot save there. And Riley comes up big from Chase Nicholson, a 20 and under Junior Sabres member.
Well, you look at the roster up and down on both sides. You got some kids that are on 16 under teams, 20 under teams, 18 under teams. So it's a real nice mix. And you think about it, if you're a 16-year-old playing against kids that are 19, it's a great opportunity to really grow your skills. And you can see why these kids are on the level they are and they're ready to progress to the next level. This is truly the highest level of competition of the night from what I can see. And that's nothing to take away from the seniors, of course, for these high schools, because it's probably a tough decision as a kid who's got the talent. Do you stay with your high school or do you go to a junior team? Maybe it's half dozen, one or the other, but
right.
Certainly the level of talent looks to be extraordinary right now.
Face off to the left of Haas. Team Hassock wins it, floats it back to the corner, but Team Perot comes up with it. That's number 11, Freoy. Boyd's going to go to the corner hard with Phillips. Long shot, got through. Oh, grazed the goalpost, and now the net is moved, but a nice save there by Riley.
Quick work by Riley to recognize that puck just left him, and you can see the reflexes on the kid are extremely sharp, and it's going to be hard to get a goal past him tonight. It'll also be interesting to see if we have two goalies on each side of the squad, so we'll see if they split time evenly or if a guy may get a little more than a full half of a game.
They flip the puck around back the other side. Team Perot tries to keep the pressure on here, but Team Hassock comes away with it down the left wing boards. It's number 4, Cicero. Cicero jammed it right in front. The puck came free for a second, but no one was there for Team Hassock to put it away. McCarthy with it now for Team Perot. Nice play there. Oh, and a bang pass that just missed. Well, Team Hassock just tries to move it back out the center ice, hits the line. Cutting in is Viscioni. Back behind the net. Not much room there. They jam at it. And Team Perot is going to be fortunate to get it out, but they can't get it out. Oh, no, bang chance there as Cicero fired it right on. A nice save by Haas. Back behind the net. They still can't get it out. Long wrist shot on the way. Saved by Haas. Move it back to the point once again. Rowe, and he lost control of it. Has to go back in his own end. We're inside 7 minutes now left in this first half.
And like you said, Haas has had some nice saves. He's been peppered with some pretty solid pucks and standing tall on the occasion.
62 spins around for Team Hassock, and they just try to move it out. Now they do. Team Hassock gets the line. Trying to make a nice move on a rush and taken away. A neat play there by Josh Albert. Humphreys down the right wing side. Didn't have much room. Could have been a big hit there if Cantori, but he steered away the other side. There's a shot that goes out of play with 6:14 remaining. Scoreless first half here.
Well, we were told that neither Hasek or Perot is in the building, but obviously the great Scotty Bowman's here, and what more could you ask for? And just a tremendous night of hockey.
You guys are very disappointed in the fact that I haven't been able to lure the great Scotty Bowman up to our broadcast booth, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Not going to let me live this one down.
No, probably won't.
Well, Josh and I were down there in between games, and he walked right by me, and he was staring me up and down like, who is this idiot? What is it? How did they let anyone in this building? So I literally, lost control of my bodily functions for a little while. He was walking by looking at me. I didn't know, do I shake the hand? Do I say hello? Do I kiss the rings? What do you do? And by the time I got done thinking about it, he was halfway down the hall.
Blake Humphrey had a great chance there and just missed an opportunity for Team Perot.
Just great to see him in the building, and the fact that he's looking nimble, man. He looks like he could still work a team to another Stanley Cup.
He sure does.
Hey, I know there's a position that should be open for him in a few weeks.
Hey, there's no question about that. But and that puck goes way out of play. Whoa, we almost had a souvenir up here, Frank. That puck didn't miss coming up here by too much, Jimmy. I'm waiting for you to dive over the table and make that stop. Frank, Phil Housley. What are you going to do?
Josh, our camera guy, asked me about this on the way up. What do you think about him, this, that, and the other? And I got to tell you, he was my idol growing up. When I started watching hockey back in 1981, 82, Scotty Bowman was the coach. Phil Housley was his first, he drafted this young kid out of Minnesota. And Housley was my idol. And, I'll say this about Housley. I love the way he played. Offensive, defenseman. He had 93 points one season. Just phenomenal hockey player. But he was never really a tough guy. He wasn't, and he played in an era where you had to be tough. So he got by lighting the lamp and feeding Gilbert and Foligno and Andrechuk and those guys.
I was an intern for the Buffalo Sabres when Phil was a rookie, and I believe Tommy Barrasso was on that team as well. And a man by the name of Larry Playfair as well. So that's some tough characters. You're right, Frank.
Well, speaking of defensemen, we talked about Tim Horton in the previous game. He was a mentor to Jim Schoenfeld. So, Housley probably could have used a Tim Horton to mentor him in giving him that aspect of toughness. But I think that's in your DNA. That's part of who you are as a player or not. And like you said, Frank, maybe that's just not enough in his DNA to portray that aspect to his team. And there's been occasions where they've missed that element of their game.
A long shot, and that's deflected as coming up to just 4 minutes left here in this first half. It's a scoreless first half after seeing all the goals from last game. Kind of a letdown here a little bit.
What's surprising to me is there's not a whole lot of checking in this game. And, you're seeing good defense, but just not much checking. And I think that's what's kind of left a little bit of a stale feel to it.
Team Hasek just had a golden opportunity there, but they couldn't find the handle. Team Perot just wants to ease the puck out of their own end, and they do. Throwing it back over. It's number 28, Disberg. Looks, there's a chance there. Bang, bang play. Oh, and missing the pass off the stick of Chase Nicholson. And once again, they move it back out. Team Hasek trying to make a move. Long shot there. That didn't miss by much. 15, Tobias. Had a chance with it.
And we're just a little under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Still 0-0.
All I can think about is, can we get, a pizza ordered here, delivered to the booth? That's all I can think about. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but.
Well, we got 716 on our mind. You're welcome to join us, Frank.
Can I come?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. I know I'm supposed to be a good boy, Catholic and all.
Well, it's going to be a cheese pizza, so. But it'll be warm. Anything's warmer than where we're sitting right now. I got to tell you that.
Oh, what is really cool, though, is the fact that we're able to do a game on the big stage here at the arena. And for these kids, keep saying it, but I'm sure it's got to be a memory of a lifetime to play on this ice.
Tobias had a chance, shot it, deflected. As we come down to the 2-minute mark here, left in this half. Puck swept to the corner by Riley. Goes back in the opposite corner.
I want to give a shout out to Eddie Van Haskell, who's been watching the last few broadcasts. I believe we picked up a new subscriber. Congratulations, Eddie. I hope you stick along and enjoy what we do here at WNYathletics.com.
Got a lot of action coming up this spring, too. So you can't wait to get out on that ball diamond. There's a quick shot and a nice save there on Haas. Probably the best save of the day. There's a rebound shot. That went wide. Another shot, another save from Haas. Playing well here in the last couple of minutes. Saccone gets it over from the wing. There's a first hit of this half, and it comes with just 120 left in it. Jammed out down the left wing side. Another chance for a hit. We didn't see one there. Kind of just skating around here, a little bit too much skating. These juniors can skate, of course, and they're great skaters. You got to be at this level. We're inside 1 minute now. Seitz comes down the left wing, looks, has his man. There's a shot. Oh, grazing, I believe, the goalpost and going out of play.
It sure did look like it hit the post. And, give credit, though, to Nick Haas. He had the angle on it, so he didn't really leave much of an opportunity for the goal to be made.
Well, we're told before the game we're going to be covering lacrosse action, baseball. And can't wait to get back out on that football gridiron either, but we don't want to wish the summer away. It's going to be some great sports here in Western New York, that's for sure, coming up. Some great teams, some good coaches. There's a chance on a bang-bang play, and just missing there is Foy with a chance for Team Perot as we're down to our last 30 seconds here of this half. Scoreless half here. Passed along the right side of boards, kept up, spun around the other side. And feeding it out is 36 Martin. There's a chance there. Nice save off the shot from Humphrey. Riley went down awkwardly there. Is he okay? Looks to be.
He found his way far out of the crease there. Took him a little while to get back. You never know whether there was a slight injury. He's talking to the referees, so.
Yeah. Well, after one period of play, or excuse me, one half of play, no score here between Team Perot and Team Hanson. Our junior players.
Well, another story about Rick Martin. I had a chance to meet Rick Martin on occasion through a golf tournament for the Boys and Girls Club of Niagara County. And I remember having a chance to ask him about the Stanley Cup game that was the fog game, where Jim Lorenz batted the bat down, killed the bat, and then Rick McVie, I believe, or McTavish, threw the bat in the penalty box. Real famous game. And when I asked Martin about it, you could see his eyes lit up, and he said, Lorenz for the longest time was getting threats from the animal activists. PETA, whatever PETA was, if it was PETA back then, but he said they didn't let him live it down, and he just chuckled. But you think about that game, and, Western New York's got its history of football with bad weather.
Right.
But 90 degrees on the ice that night.
Wow.
And that's what that fog just, but the Sabres found a way to win the game in overtime in a Stanley Cup memorable game against the Broad Street Bullies, the Philadelphia Flyers.
And from what I remember in that game, Tim, they came around with actual bed sheets. They carried bed sheets and spread them around, and that's how they got the fog off the ice. I don't know, Frank, if you're a little young back then, I don't know if you recall it or not, but it was unbelievable. They showed a ground level shot of the old Aud, and they showed 4 or 5 different guys carrying bed sheets spread out, getting the fog off the ice. It was amazing.
Well, you think about hockey back then, and I just remember from watching footage. I was never alive to watch it at that age, but you could tell the game was there was a magical sense about the game in the 70s where it was really moving into a unknown territory where you had the physical and the scoring, and you had an expansion in the league. You had some real marketable players, and the Sabres, they were at the forefront back then. One of the top teams in the league, obviously the French Connection coming around back then, and must have been a real exciting time to be watching the game. My parents both had season tickets for the Sabres during the Stanley Cup run, and my dad tells me a story where there was a guy for Pittsburgh named Brian Bugsy Watson, and Martin also got in a big brawl with Bugsy and pummeled him 20 straight shots to Bugsy, and Bugsy went down. And so not just was he with a great goal scorer, but he also knew how to hold his own with his fisticuffs as well, which unfortunately I think that's a missing part of the game today.
I know Marky Johnson might have to take a little bit of a break, but we'll work through it. Marky, you got to...
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I just want to real quick on Rick Martin. I was interning, as I said, for the Sabres back in 81, 82 at the Odd, and it was in a pre-warm-up, and Rick took a shot from the blue line, and back then they didn't have the nets behind the glass. Well, he hit a youngster, broke his arm. The kid had a down coat on, took the shot off the left arm, so I was down behind the Zamboni entrance with Chuck Delesko, the one camera operator, and I ran down to where the kid was, and they brought the stretcher out up to the side, and turned out he shattered the kid's left arm with a just blistering shot that was nowhere near the net, nowhere near the glass. I mean, it was painful to watch, and I actually saw it from the other opposite end of the ice. So Rick Martin, being the great player that he was, and came down and immediately, was concerned. He came off the ice, and they had him by the Zamboni entrance. And the kid, of course, was crying and everything. But Rick, gave him a stick, he gave him a puck, and as much as he could do before the start of the game, it was just something I'll never forget. Rick Martin had one of the most hardest shots I think I've ever seen in hockey. And I've seen a lot of great hockey players from Lafleur to Shutt to Larry Robinson and the rest of the Canadiens crew, but Rick Martin had a hard shot. Right?
I'll tell you, Housey, I said about 10 minutes ago before when I was chiming in here, was one of my favorite players. But I thought one of the biggest injustices to Housley was when he was compared to Bobby Orr. There's one Bobby Orr, right, and there will only ever be one Bobby Orr. And Phil Housley, young, thin kid, probably 150 pounds soaking wet.
If that.
There's no way he was ever going to live up to that expectation. But we can kid now. He wasn't a tough guy. He wasn't a tough defenseman. He wasn't the clear the front of the net for you. That just wasn't his game. He was going to feed the bull. He was going to feed those guys on the rush and quarterback the power play. That was his game.
Right.
And I don't know if the players on this particular Sabres team, this 2018-19 team, the year prior, you take the personality of your coach. Phil is just not a boisterous, tough, in-your-face kind of guy. And some teams need that, and some teams don't respond well to that. This team 2 years ago needed a guy to come in and just shake them all. And I think the reason why they're in the position they are is because they just don't have the backbone spine or the toughness that they needed. If this was a tougher team physically and mentally, I think right now this place is packed on a regular basis and you're within a few points of a playoff spot. You're in the hunt. If this team was mentally tougher and physically tougher, I think there's enough talent on this team. There's been enough talent on this team the past 2 years. Definitely this year with the addition of Skinner and Dowling, of course.
Right.
But this team should be competing right now for that playoff spot, one of the wild cards. I think a guy like John Tortorella in Columbus, who wasn't available, but someone like that, if they have to pry up Mike Keenan from wherever he is right now, that's the kind of coach that this team needs. Because as much as I like Jack Eichel, as much as I enjoy his talent, he's just not a leader to me. I know we're talking high school hockey today, but we were getting in on Housley and this, that, and the other, and Sabre teams are the great. I'm embarrassed of where this organization is.
Frank, what do you think? What do you think the difference is between the Sabres team now and the Sabres team that went on the 10-game win streak back earlier in the season?
Luck. I mean, Mark, how many games did they win by a goal in overtime? Or, I think it was luck. I mean,
a bounce here, a bounce there.
Yeah, they were getting the bounces.
How about the goaltending?
Goaltending was phenomenal. For that 3 to 3.5 week stretch,
Right.
the goaltending was phenomenal.
You mentioned something about the type of coach, how the team responds to the style of coach. And we talked about it jokingly in the last game, but one of the famous quotes by Housley was statistics are for losers. And I think his essence of that, and who knows whether that was taken out of context, but I think the essence of that quote is that you still need to focus on intangibles. Like, you can't always measure a win and a loss by a statistic. And I think we've gone into an era, and the Sabres are acknowledging they use analytics, and they love to use analytics, which most teams do. But I think at the end of the day, there's still an element of the intangibles. And what you're saying about a coach, that coach is the intangible a lot of times. What kind of pulse, what kind of fire is he putting under that belly? You cannot necessarily measure that in statistics.
I agree. I'm not big on analytics. It's an important part of the game. The game is so much different than when it was when Housley played. It's so much different, but at the same time, one thing has not necessarily been totally erased, but there's one thing, at least within this organization, that's disappeared, and that's heart. Where is it?
There's no question. No
when
question.
Drury left and Briere, we have not had a team with heart since. They brought in Pat LaFontaine, hockey operations guy, and I don't know what happened there, but whatever happened there, this organization has been doomed ever since he left.
Well, and I believe that it's widely accepted now that the team intentionally lost to get to Eichel, and I think you ask about heart, you're gutting a team, and you're showing a heartless approach to winning, in my opinion, and that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people were at odds with that. There was a faction in favor and a faction not in favor, but I do believe that you set your blueprint, your fingerprint was on that as the ownership of this team, and they haven't been able to overcome that. And it's obvious now, looking at Eichel, he's not he alone cannot change your team. It takes a complete effort, and it takes that heart. And, even looking at Rasmus Dahlin, and you were saying how they unfairly compared Housley to Orr, today we live in an era where everybody gets anointed to be the next this or the next that, and they're telling you how he's going to be Potvin. I have no doubt the kid looks like he's on pace to have a great career, but I think we have to temper our expectations with a lot of these players in saying, okay, he's going to be the next this. Let him develop, and you have to build your team around veterans, not just these young guys. And the Sabres made a critical error on that years ago, and they're still paying the price.
Billy Lano. I mean, it goes back to when you sign guys like Billy Lano.
Right.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the Buffalo culture. Guys were even giving the Bills a hard time a few weeks ago. You paid all these guys to come here. When you have a team that loses year in, year out and has never won before, and you're going to move them up to the Northeast where you're going to have a month or two worth of blizzards and cold for 4 months. It's freezing cold for 3 to 4 months.
Right.
All right. Today's athlete is different than when it was years ago. If you got drafted by the Sabres, you reported to the Sabres immediately. Nowadays, you can refuse to go. It's Lindros, 1988. I'm not going to Quebec.
Perfect example.
You know what I'm saying? So the athletes changed. The athletes has changed. They're spoiled. Some of these guys are spoiled rotten. They are going to make more money playing 5 years in the NHL than any of us will ever make in a lifetime.
Combined.
So
I guess that's what I'm referring to when I say
you got to overpay those free agents.
Yeah.
You have to overpay guys to come here, and that's the penalty of
when you watch the highlights of those games from the 70s, those guys played for the sheer passion of the game. Obviously, money was important, but it wasn't paramount.
And they were scared to death of getting knocked down to the minors. Scared to death. These guys don't fear going to $500,000 to play for Rochester. Are you kidding? Sign me up.
Well, we're back to second half action here when the goaltenders have been changed. Mitchell Piolski is in there for Team Hasek, and Luke Pavlich is in net for Team Perot.
Well, one of the questions we wondered is, would they share equal time? And that's been answered early here.
I thank Frank Wolf for checking in there. That was a nice little intermission. And it's down and coming around back behind the nets. See if we can get a goal here, Tim.
Well, let's see if we can get a little spike in the intensity level as well. I think, not saying that these kids aren't trying 100%. It's just the way the game, every game takes on its own aura. And that first half was just a more of a finesse type game.
Well, cutting in now at Team Hasek. That's Cicero into the corner. Floats it right back behind the net. Cicero has it, gets it back to the point. Flipped out behind the net. Going back after it, Ben Ritter, and Ritter just poked it right down the ice, and that's going to be icing.
Unofficial tally of shots on goal for the first half, 10-10. Evenly matched goal shots for both Team Perot and Team Hasek.
Quick shot there, right on. A nice save from number 83. That's Alex Stingus. Took that shot. And Pavlich made a nice save. But the tempo of this game is, I thought would be, when we saw these kids come out for the pregame, I mean, they were flying.
Well, they came out harder than any other teams. So, your anticipation level was such that, okay, and I think coming off that previous game, the intensity and the excitement was certainly at its peak. So they had a large gap to fill to live up to that last game. And no doubt this is still highly entertaining hockey, just a different type of game than the previous.
Cartone gets it out in front. Oh, then he stopped there. Bang, bang, try. Pulaski with the save. Now back at the point, McCarthy. McCarthy feeds it back. Long wrist shot, and Pulaski just got a piece of that with the left pad. They moved the puck in the corner, now swept to the other side. And Neudorf brings it out, number 18 for Team Hasek. Flipped it over off the boards into the corner as they try to control it. But Team Perot there, now they're just going to shovel it back out in front to the line. And it just comes out over the line to center ice.
Interesting how both teams have taken this philosophy to play the puck and not the man in this game.
Back down the right wing is Team Hasek. A nice pass right through the middle, but no one was there. Perot makes the move. That's backs, looks, has his man. There's a shot. Oh, big save there. And Pulaski's looking tough. First couple of shots he's faced. Going off the bench with no warm-ups. Phillips to the corner for Team Hasek. There's a bang-bang play in front. Oh, and the puck was pushed to the side. Good chance there. And then finally a hit in this. That
would be Kevin Martin for the 16 under Amherst Knights, trying his best at laying a little lumber at least.
Icing against Team Hasek, so the puck will come all the way back to their end.
Well, it's going to come down to the old adage, who wants it more? Right now, I'm having a hard time finding that out.
Well, one thing we don't want is another 4 overtime deal that we had in Syracuse, that's for sure. Team Hasek brings it back into the Perot end. He's swinging around. Cicero, there's a shot that never got through. Puck along the boards and chipped out back to center ice and back into Team Hasek end.
Nice to see a little more activity along the boards there and some physicality starting to show its face.
There's a steal and takeaway there. It's Nicholson. Nicholson with it. Works his way behind the net, gets it back to the point. Long shot, right on, and Pulaski smothers it for the faceoff.
Well, one thing, this is obviously our first game covering junior hockey, and perhaps it's just a different style of play when you get to juniors versus the high school game where they're more interested in developing the skill sets of the finesse game and maybe not as concerned about playing the man, or maybe it's just that this is an all-star game and they've agreed to have a less presence of physical aspect of the game.
Puck shot all the way down the ice. No icing call there. And Team Perot tries to bring it back out. Now they've got some numbers. 5-on-2 here and mishandling the puck. It's number 51. That would have been a glorious opportunity for Team Pearl, but they couldn't get anything going. Hasek. It's the line. Oh, he missed another missed pass, and that comes out. Nate Mann tries to flush it out over his own line. He can't do that. A lot of skating going around and not a lot of work ethic right now. Kind of surprised.
Well, the coaches for both these squads are former Sabres stars, Cody McCormick for Team Hasek and Michael Pekka for Team Perot. So you would think that both those players would fire their teams up, just to be part of that.
Man takes the shot. Pulaski, another save. But you're right. Michael Pekka played with probably as much energy and enthusiasm as anyone in recent memory.
Well, we were talking during the intermission there about heart, and, he was part of that last team that displayed a lot of heart, the old guard. And, unfortunately for the Buffalo Sabres, they have not had any consistency in that department.
That's for sure. Carcione now brings it back. Carcione looks, takes a shot. Nice save. Pulaski sticking his right pad out, made another nice stop. Chance down in front. Another save from Pulaski and another save. Carcione had a double chance there. Long shot from Albert. That missed by about a foot or so. Puck back to the point. Once again, another shot. Another save from Pulaski. He's doing the job here for his team. Now speeding down the ring. It's a possible 2-on-1. Chance, shot, save. And Pavlovich came up big there. Luke Pavlovich has not been tested much, but he made a nice save there. Now on a backhand try. Now back to the point. Long shot. Another save. Another rebound. Oh, what a great save there. It's still loose in the crease. And oh my, Luke Pavlovich did it there. He made 4 stops at least, Tim.
Well, he was on his back for half of them, showing some tremendous acrobatics to be able to provide his own image of Stretch Armstrong.
Well, who'd that remind you of?
Hasek, that's right.
Dominic Hasek, who lived on his back sometime in the crease, making exhilarating save after great save.
Absolutely. And, the game has opened up a little now in 15 minutes, 9 seconds to go, still scoreless, but there's been a good increase in action.
A long shot there by number 7, Ritter. They missed the target by a ton. Phillips tries to drag it back. Not much you can do there with the puck behind the net. Blake Humphrey lost it. We haven't had a penalty called. And there's a chance there for Humphrey. Just looked like he might have grazed the goal post. Bring it back to the point. Ritter at the point. Number 7 looks. Wrist shot. Another blocker save. And another great stop there from Pulaski. And finally, Team Hasek moves it out over center ice. Here they come. Team Hasek looks. Chance. Opportunity. And a block shot there. He never got really a lot of wood on it. 19. Spins it around. It's number 9 with it. Casey Savino. Steets in the corner. Steets 36. He couldn't move it. Cicero has it back behind the net. He's being hassled back there. Puck goes to the corner. Ritter tries to jam it out over the line, and he does.
Well, one of the things about this game so far is the shots are still relatively even. You got about 15 shots for Team Perot, 16 to 17 shots I account for Team Hasek. But of those shots, nothing is of really tremendous quality, other than the last opportunity that Team Hasek had. They've been relatively distant, far distant shots, a lot of wristers from, 30, 40 feet away. And that's one of the things I guess we'll see if that can change in the last 13 minutes of the game here. But the defenses for both these squads have been able to really take care of their own zone and not really allow much penetration inside that crease area.
And the puck was deflected out of play by the goaltender. So we'll have to draw off there. There's a bang, bang play. Oh, and what a chance there. Number 82 had a gorgeous opportunity for Team Hasek.
And that might have been one of the better chances of the game there, Mark.
83, Alex Stennis. And boy, what a beautiful chance he had there. Now losing the puck to the side of the net and dodging a bolt there, but maybe not. There's a long shot. Oh, and that's Nate Mann had just missed the target. Puck shot to the back of the net, and now Team Perot's putting some pressure on. Team Hanson trying to golf it back out, but Mann's going to spin it right back in. Puck goes to the corner. We'll try to set it back up to the point. McCarthy from the point shot, never got through. And down the left wing, barreling down the left wing is Visconti. And his shot was deflected up and out of play. With 12:26 left, scoreless game here.
Well, a little bit more about Rick Martin. We talked about how he could really have that slap shot and first Sabre to score 50 goals. He did it in back-to-back seasons, as a matter of fact, 73-74, 74-75, and, you know, just a amazing feat to score 50 goals. And back then, you scored 20 goals. That was kind of equated to being a 300 hitter. So to get 50 goals, that just puts it in perspective. I mean, tremendous skilled player. And, you know, both him and Tim Horton were tragically lost in single-car crashes. Both great guys. And Rick Martin, just a true gentleman. You know, you could see he always liked to help a good cause. And he certainly missed.
Many a charity golf event around Western New York. Rick Martin was always there, that's for sure. And, of course, up in Canada. Rick Martin, one of the greats, number 7 for the Sabres.
And just like we talked about Tim Horton, his number is adorning the rafters, along with the members of the French Connection, René Robert and Gilbert Perreault. Mark, as you know, I collect sports memorabilia, and I deal in that periodically. The only item I've ever truly committed to keep throughout the history is the sticks of the French Connection. They're not necessarily game used, but they were team-issued sticks, and they're still in my bedroom. And, you know, pretty cool thing to see those sticks. One time when I was a kid, I ended up playing with one of them in the street. Maybe I scored a goal with that. I don't know.
Well, you lessen the value, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We got an icing call coming up here against Team Perreault. That face-off will come all the way back down.
And pretty good crowd here still. There's still tickets available. There's 11 minutes left. I don't know if they're still $5.
They're a funny guy, Bones, let me tell you. For a Friday night, though, I thought there would be a little bit more here. But what are you going to do? It's Friday in Buffalo, and there's a lot of options.
Well, that doesn't take away from the atmosphere this building has provided for these kids to play in. And regardless of the crowd size, it's just a memorable moment to be on this ice for them, I'm sure.
Puck flipped behind the net. Kevin Martin back there. 36. Colby Seitz had a puck come out in front. Here's a chance for Samuel Saccone, and he ripped it around the boards. They're going to keep it in anyway. Nice play there by Fiscone. Oh, deflection in front, and that just missed. And Team Perreault tries to get it back out. That's golf right back in.
Well, it should be noted that both the goalies that are in this game now, they're pretty opposingly big figures, and they certainly do not give you much room to work with if you're trying to score on them.
Now leading a rush coming down for Team Perreault. 13, that's right. Back behind the net. He still has it right in front. Chops at it, and Pulaski makes the save. 9:48 remaining here in this second half. It's a weird thing to say is half, but that's what these games were. 2 22-minute halves. And we've had some good competition tonight. Let's have some good action.
Well, and I'm sure for the players, you know, they get used to playing a longer period of hockey, even though we're calling them halves. There's still periods in their minds, I'm sure. And, you know, that extra distance in one period is a nice way for them to transition to the next level, which many of them will be doing.
Oh, a chance there, and man, just grazed the goalpost. McCarthy lets the shot go, and that goes wide. Puck goes to the opposite side. Comes right back to the point again. McCarthy, screen shot, ripped that one right over the top of the net. Good shooting here in the last couple of seconds. Bringing it back out is Wisconsin. He lost the puck. Nicholson stood him up right there at center ice. Team coming back for Team Hasek. Tobias, he's been all over the ice tonight. Comes out in front. Oh, what a save there by number 31, Pavlich.
Nice glove save there by Luke Pavicic. He's on the 16 under Junior Sabres team, and he's showing a real nice quickness. And like we previously compared to Hasek, where he was on his back, he's also showing tremendous reflexes there. And
there's another save.
Looking sharp tonight.
Yep. Luger let that shot go from about 35 feet.
Again, it's an unofficial count, but he's reaching around 20 saves right now.
On the draw once again. Team Hasek wins another draw, flips it back into the corner. Inside 8:35 now left in the remaining of this regulation period here. And here comes Team Perot trying to bounce their way back out. They can't do it. Bax was stood up at the line.
Just a quick correction. When I say 20 saves, there's been about 20 shots total on goal, but he has about half of the saves on the night and looking tremendous between the pipes right now.
Chance cutting in there and still no penalty call. That looked like that possibly could have been a takedown call. Nothing there. They control it. There's a quick shot, and that's an easy save. Pavicic makes it look easy, Tim.
I was just going to say, you took the words out of my mouth. He sure does make it look easy, and cat-like reflexes between the pipes for the big goaltender out of the Junior Sabres. And, you know, this Junior Sabre team, 16 and under, they've got some promising talent.
Sure do. Ritter takes the puck and sweeps it to the other side. 17's Zerlicki. And he lost it, got it back over to Ritter. Ritter's going to try to bring it back over. Ritter flips it through. He was looking for number 19, Robinson. So trying to pick that out of midair. No can do there. Coming back the other way. Shot and a save. Puck was loose and went right over the top of the net. Now there's an opportunity there as they buzz around the Team Perot goaltender. Long shot. Wristed. Was blocked. Cicero holds it in. Cicero looks. Oh, he had his man cutting in front. No can do there. And then come back the other way.
Team Perot really having trouble now moving the puck out of their own zone. It's been a long time coming for them to have any opportunities in this second half.
Cartone lets the shot go. Another blocked. Nice play there. And that might have caught some. Oh, there's a high shot that went way over the top of the net. I believe one of the players out there for Team Hasek is hurt, and he is. Number 22 slowly makes his way to the bench. Offside at the line. And he wanted a haul down.
I believe that might have been number 2, Joseph Visconti, for the 18 under Rochester Coalition, playing for Team Hasek. He's grimacing a little.
Sure is.
The body language is grimacing. Can't necessarily see his face, but hope he's all right.
Off the face-off, Team Perot tries to control it. Back behind their own net. They spin it around. Right with it. Gave it up to McCarthy. Tries to cut in left side. Nowhere to go there. And coming back with his Team Hasek. Hitting the line. Taking a quick pass in the corner and a bang play in front, but that missed. One's going to kick it back out the other way. That's Buger. Buger with the puck. Buger with it. Buger cutting in. Buger is going to go to the corner, stop. Let it out in front. No one's there. Here's a chance, opportunity. Oh, nice save there. Pulaski. And back comes Team Hasek.
Jake Buger on the 20 under Junior Sabres showing some real nice moves there. And the skills on these players in this game, even though the goals are 0-0, there's just tremendous skating. You can take that for granted. A lot of times you watch games, you don't necessarily appreciate the skating, but you could see that this is some high-level stuff here.
Great save there from Mitchell Polsky, who snagged the puck right in front of him from about 8 feet.
And that's one of the few opportunities, good scoring opportunities for Team Perot in this half, rather. We have 5 minutes, 24 seconds left to go, and it's coming down to the nitty-gritty here.
Another shot, another save from Pulaski. Looking sharp here last couple of seconds. On the point, another shot that's long and wide. Try to feed it back out, but Team Hanson wants to move it back out themselves, and they do.
Still, both teams you could see have made a decision not to get into a physical aspect of this game and just demonstrate their skills to play the puck.
Maska try to move it out, and does. For Team Hanson. Long cross-ice pass that got through, but never got to the right man. That stood up at the line, and barely offside at the line.
Questionable call there. I think it might have been a quick whistle. Anyhow, they're going to call offsides on number 21, and that would be Matthew Yeager. Big kid on the 1600 team. Matt Yeager, a pretty dominant force on that ice.
Off the draw, Team Hanson wins it. Just shoot it in. Come down to the 4:30 mark here, left in regulation. Puck flipped back behind the net. And back over to get it. Team Perot, it's Zawicki. Lost it at the line once again. Team Perot's had their problems. Timmy, you mentioned it earlier, trying to move the puck out. There's a shot that's blocked, and a nice play there. Number 17 golfed it out. And now they're on the move again. It's Cartone. And that shot was deflected and went to the corner. Team Hanson coming back out. They drag it out the center ice, and here they come. Shooting at him, firing it wide over the top of the net. It was Kevin Martin. Yeah, great chance there. Excuse me, that 36, Colby Seitz.
Well, Mark, with less than 4 minutes to go, a game that's tied, you can clearly see that neither team is going to make a commitment to play any kind of physical hockey here because, in my opinion, that would be a difference maker to trying to swing a momentum or advantage. And they've basically agreed to play more of a finesse style tonight, which is a nice way to see these kids' skills. But, there's a little bit of almost a trip maybe.
Yeah, it could have been called a trip, and referees have basically put away the whistles here. No penalties in this game. And there's been a couple opportunities where there could have been a couple calls, but nothing there. And there was a chance for a hit behind the boards, but you're right, Tim. They're staying away from the physical aspect, that's for sure. Here comes Hasek down the left side, cutting in. A chance he slid it just wide of the net.
The only thing I really not sure of, when you play hockey, that physical aspect needs to be part of the game, with especially getting around the crease area in order to create opportunities, and you're just not seeing it tonight.
Team Perot now trying to put some pressure on the Team Hanson end. They have not had much opportunity to do so. Puck comes back to the point. Nice shot there and deflected out of play. Another nice save from Mitchell Pulaski.
Mark, I got news for you. You thought 4 overtimes might be a challenge? You might see a record broken on that tonight. Please. I'm going to make a prediction.
We don't like overtime. Especially when it's up in Syracuse when you're 200 miles from home and it's 12:30 at night.
That was a memorable night, though. The Syracuse Crunch Arena, Onondaga County War Memorial, played host to a great night of action in which Kidford, West Genesee, the goaltender for West Genesee, stopped over 50 shots.
Played out of his mind.
And gave his team their best effort to win a game where they were outmanned and outmatched.
It was a tremendous effort, that's for sure. But the Syracuse Cougars were victorious in 4 overtimes.
And they later went on to win the state championship. So credit that game to being the start of their playoff run.
It sure was. Team Pearl's had a chance there. Now it's a numbers game. Here's a 4-on-1. Chance right now. It scores finally. A long shot. Number 16 ripped it in.
Dylan Lugris for Nichols makes his mark in a game. And, folks, 1 minute, 25 seconds left in the game. That could be a goal that changes everything. And nice way to see a score and put it right between the pipes there. And Dylan.
Well, Matt Yeager fed him a beautiful pass, and Dylan Lugris did not make a mistake with that one. Nice pass and nice shot. 1-0.
Up until that point, goalie Luke Pavicic has had a tremendous game. I mean, he's saved everything that came his way. And he did have some quality shots. I mentioned earlier, maybe not as much quality shots, but they really did pepper him late in this second half. But just one shot too many, and finally they found a way to break through that brick wall that was Luke Pavicic.
There's some of the saves we're showing now on the Jumbotron. And we've seen some beauties in this game. And that was an amazing save right there on the back. And just sprawling, making a great, fantastic save. That looked just like Dominic Hasek there. And on the other end, of course, Pulaski making some great saves. And there's another nice glove save as well. But
I'm happy to see it.
Give, and here's the goal right here. And Dylan does not make a mistake there. And it's 1-0. Still 1:25 left here, though, so a timeout was called.
While we're happy to see a goal scored in the game and in a game that's been really a stalemate, you do feel kind of bad for Luke Pavicic because he's just played tremendous hockey tonight, showing he's going to have a nice career ahead of him as a goalie.
So both goaltenders go back to their respective nets, and they'll get ready to face this off and try to kill the last minute, 20 seconds off here. Ritter has the puck for Team Parole. Gets it over to right. Right tries to golf it in. It goes off a body or two. And now there's a chance for Team Parole. There's a shot and a save, and that goes out of play as well.
Mark, just this kind of thought occurred to me. Do you think because the last game got so chippy, maybe these teams were warned not to go too far over and above on the physical aspect?
That's possible, but I'm also thinking that these kids are, no one wants to take runs at each other, that's for sure. But you never know, Tim. Puck shot down the ice, open net, and it's a goal. And an open netter, and I did not see who shot it. We'll see on the replay here quickly, but it was an open net goal. A nice one, too, from about 180 feet.
I'm sorry, I can't help you on that. But that certainly shows some marksmanship.
I think it was number 9. I'm kind of having the feeling it was number 9 for Casey Severino.
Another aspect to what we were talking about with the physics, some of these kids play on the same teams, and this is obviously a split squad, so maybe there's that element that they don't want to necessarily mix it up with a kid that they could be on the same team with. And that goal was by Kyle Newt. Nope, excuse me.
Well, it's Frank Wolf chiming in there. I don't know. He's going to circle it. Maybe the Wolfman might have saw something we didn't see. But the way Casey Servino was dancing around out there, I thought maybe he had it, and he was the first one to lead the rush to the bench. So they'll try to kill this last 34 seconds off. Right now, Team Pearl probably thinking maybe trying to snap a shutout anyway. Dumped on the ice there, and that's probably the only player that they flip one right over the top of the wide open net. And Kyle Newdorf? I don't know about that.
He won a state title last year with Sweet Home, and credit to that Sweet Home program.
Open net, puts it up. Oh, he missed the chance with no time left. How did he miss it? It's all over. The Rick Martin Memorial Cup game goes to Team Hasek. They win it 2-0.
Well, they found a spark, and give them credit because that second half they really did have a offensive dominance in that second half, and they had a lot of shots on net, so they truly deserved to win that game. And, Team Perot just could not find any kind of offensive spark in the second half, really, Mark.
We want to thank our sponsors for tonight's action: Paul Wolf Insurance, Logistics Plus, and Scroy Financial. Plan, protect, and invest with Scroy Financial. Three great games here tonight, and
it's been a pleasure to broadcast it on YouTube /WNYathletics.com. And like you said, look forward to more action, more high school action as the spring sessions approach for both lacrosse and baseball. Mark, I know you're anticipating some good action on the ball diamond soon. And
I got to get a break with the weather first, but hopefully maybe we'll somehow get down in Orchard Park. It's got a back-to-back series with Lancaster on April 29th and 30th. And there is the Rick Martin Memorial Cup. And it's a beautiful piece of hardware. And both teams shake hands out at center ice. Always good to see the sportsmanship level out there, Tim.
Well, I don't think you had to worry about the referees breaking anything up in this game, but absolutely these teams showed a lot of respect towards one another tonight, and a lot of finesse on display. You could see how the junior hockey scene in both Rochester and Buffalo is strong. But like you said, these awards that they're given, these cups, the Bowman Cup, the Rick Martin Cup, and the Tim Horton Cup, they're just beautiful hardware, and these kids seem to really appreciate it. I know we were watching Mr. Michael Barker, who won MVP of the last game. He was cherishing his moment on the ice, just holding that cup and really soaking it in. What a game he had, Mark.
Outstanding game for Michael Barker, and let's see who's going to give this one here, too. It looks like it's number 9 is going to take the...
and that would be Casey Severo, the Merrimack commit, getting MVP honors. And Mark, I think that will do it for us on WNY Athletics, courtesy of YouTube tonight. We thank you all for joining us. For Tim Morozic, Mark Johnson, Josh Calm, and Frank the Wolfman Wolf. Thank you, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.